The boy saw his grandmother picking up bottles by the roadside and ran over to her. But the grandmother was afraid her image would embarrass her grandson. She told him to pretend he didn't know her in public. As the boy's little friends were running toward them, the grandmother covered her face, not wanting them to see her. But the boy introduced her to his friends, saying, "This is my grandmother who raised me since I was little. If you have any bottles you don't need, you can give them to me." The friends didn't show any disdain after hearing this. They even praised the boy's grandmother, saying she was amazing. The grandmother, seeing how sensible her grandson was, decided to take him to the store to buy some candy. However, they hadn't walked very far when the boy collapsed to the ground. The grandmother, terrified, picked him up and rushed him to the hospital. At the hospital, after examining the boy, the doctor told the grandmother that the boy's illness was congenital, and he needed a liver transplant. Upon hearing this, the grandmother immediately told the doctor that she would donate her liver to her grandson. But the doctor said that the grandmother was too old, and there were surgical risks involved. What was important now was her grandson's life. She insisted on saving her grandson, no matter the risks. Seeing her determination, the doctor agreed to her request. He also handed her a card from his own savings. The grandmother, moved, quickly knelt down to the doctor. At that moment, the boy ran over. The doctor looked at the boy running toward him and said, "You must always be good to your grandmother." The boy knew that his life had been saved by his grandmother. No matter what, he would treat her well. Soon after, the two were taken into the operating room. The grandmother comforted her grandson, telling him not to be afraid, while also worrying about how much longer she would be able to stay with him. Unbeknownst to her, the boy was the child of a company CEO. In the office, the CEO was listening to his assistant's report, saying that there was a boy in the hospital who looked very much like his long-lost son. The CEO, after hearing this, ordered his assistant to prepare a helicopter to go there. Fortunately, the liver transplant went smoothly. After explaining the situation to the grandmother took out her bank card and told the doctor to use the best medicine for her grandson. But soon, a nurse came with the card and said it had been frozen. Before the grandmother could react, her son arrived with his wife. The woman looked at her mother in the hospital bed and directly asked, "Why did you sell the house in the countryside?" Saying this, she grabbed the bank card from her hand. The grandmother explained that her grandson's condition couldn't be delayed any longer, and that's why she had sold the house to pay for his surgery. Unexpectedly, the woman became even angrier after hearing this. She scolded her mother, asking why she hadn't given the money to her son, and instead gave it to a boy who wasn't even related to her. She then took the bank card and started to leave. Seeing their cruelty, the grandmother on the hospital bed got out of bed despite her wounds and begged her son, "Can you leave $20,000 behind? I can forgo treatment, but my grandson cannot." Her son, seeing his mother begging for someone else, without a word, turned and walked away. At this moment, the boy and the nurse, hearing the commotion, rushed over. The boy saw his grandmother collapse on the floor and cried, asking the doctor to quickly save her. Just then, the CEO arrived, and upon seeing the scene, immediately arranged for a private doctor to treat her. He then carefully looked at the boy until he saw the jade pendant around the boy's neck, which made him more certain that this boy was his son.